I've decided to give my levelers a little bit bigger footprint. So I did a little experiment on this drop piece of hard plywood that I use for my bottom of my shuffleboard table. And what I did was I don't have a Forstner bit or a hole saw that's 3-inch. So I had to come up with a different method. I wasn't going to go out and buy a special bit just for 4 holes. But I got very lucky. I set my depth, or I set my my diameter cut on my hole circular cutting bit, I guess I'll call it. And I got it right the first time. So I got it right on the money at 3-inch. And the depth is just slightly, this just sits slightly above the plywood. So I might make these just a hair deeper, we'll see. But anyway, that worked out fantastic. So what I did was I've got a 5x5 square here that I drew out, centered up this hole, and then after I established my outside rim with this, I came back in with the largest Forstner bit I have, which is 2 1/8, and made 2 passes with it here, removing most of the waste. And then the rest I took out with a chisel, and there's the results. It's fantastic. So I've got some 5x5 squares cut here. I've got center established. I'm going to bring my bit down onto that point I've made. I'm not moving my fence because I figured or established the center going that way on my scrap piece there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this stop and locate that for me, and then I can make all the center or all the cuts to establish my outside edge there, and then I'll come back in and waste remove with this. So let me make this first cut here. I gotta grab my safety glasses here. Let's see how this is gonna work out. Just reading the scale on my drill press here. I'm taking it down to about 3 inches. I got to tighten that up a little bit. It looks like. So I'm just reading my scale and I'm taking the bit into the wood at about 3 inches. Let me see where I'm at here. Right there. Okay, so that established my outside edge. I'm going to do that 3 more times and then we'll come back. Okay, 2 things I did while we were finished up those other cuts after I got done. I set 2 stops here, one for this side outside edge cut, and one for this. And the one thing I learned on the first cut I did was the bit is spinning this way. It wants to push the work into the fence, and I made the mistake of cutting this side first, and so it always wanted to pull it away. So I'm going to cut this side last, and we'll see if that makes a difference for me, because there's nothing for this bit for the point to grab anymore. So we'll just see how it goes here. The other thing I forgot to mention is I've got my depth stop set now so that both times I drill end up being the same depth. Now let's see how this one goes here. Much better. So you can see what I have left there then is just these two half moon shapes here, or quarter moon shapes, that I have to remove with a chisel. And I happen to run right into a void right there. You can see it right there. There's the void. But that's okay because it's going to sit on those other outside edges. I'm not worried about that. I'll do the other three the same way, and then we'll take it over to my bench and remove the rest of this, and I'll show you how it's going to fit. Now this is another one of those duh, what's up, doc moments. Why not just rotate it and clean out the majority this way? So I did it with this one and it worked great. We got the other three to do, but let me just show you how I do that too. There's so little there, just choose it right up. Now I only have just these little bits to remove with the chisel. Alright, after a few more minutes, I got a nice fit. It's actually nice and flush with the top here. A little gentle persuasion. So that's what I'm looking for right there. What I'll end up doing is, I'm not sure if I'm going to round these off or just clip these corners. I think I'll probably end up rounding these into 5-inch circles. I'll cut these at 45 and then use my disc sander and just round them off. But that'll look nice. I think that'll give it a lot better footprint. The metal on the laminate, won't be so, it won't scratch, I guess, because this will be on there. I'll put some, I could have put that on the bottom of this too, but put some carpet or some of that self-adhesive glide, that you put on the bottom of furniture. I'll put some of that on the bottom. Anyway, much better footprint, and I think I'll like the way this works a lot better. I won't even need to put any glue, or I don't want to put any glue in there anyway. No, I don't want to epoxy this in case they get used for something else somewhere down the road. So 3 more of these in my future. I'll get those done, and then I'll show you what I have after I do the rest of the work on them. Okay, all things going well. We'll wake up tomorrow. It'll be another day. And I'll go to work on these. So I got them all fitted. They're all right there flush, and they all look good. So I just got to clip the corners, round them off, sand them, and put some finish on them. Got my discs made. Just clip the corners off with the miter box I have, and then rounded them off with my disc sander. Put a pin in here, a 1/4-inch pin, and spun them around the pivot point until I got what I wanted. So they're not all exactly the same diameter. I got a little carried away with the first two. They got a little thin on me, a little smaller I should say, but I'm not going to worry about it. They're probably 1/16 of an inch smaller in diameter. But that's how they're going to fit in there. They're going to be just like a shoe, basically, and I'm going to like that. I'm doing this mainly for the look, I think, other than not just functionality. But this, I'm going to like this look a lot better. It's going to give it a bigger footprint, and it's going to look more substantial. But I'm just going to put some shellac on these. Give them a couple of coats of shellac. Give them a quick sanding, and then maybe give them a coat of armor seal as well. Maybe one or two. So these don't have to be that pretty. They just got to look good under there and function. So that's what I'm looking to do. And then like I said, on the bottom here, I'll probably put a carpet. I'm going to be using self-adhesive carpet on the inside of my box for my shuffleboard there, the table. And I'm sure I'll have some left over. I'll just cut some scraps around the outside of this and put those on there. That'll be that. So next time you see these, they should be all coated up and finished. Here's my first one that I did. So it turned out really nice, and the method I used worked great. So let me show you what I did. So I took my Baltic birch shoe off of the adjuster. I got a couple blocks in the center of it, 3 blocks I guess, and then I just clamped it down like this. Just started going around the edge. I got a brand new blade in here, which helps a lot. And if this carpet wears like it goes through blades, it'll never wear out. I'm just pushing down nice and firm. I can feel that board underneath me. And I just make a relief cut here. See where I'm at. And I'm through. Now when I take this apart, I want to keep this in the same orientation. So when I go to glue it back or stick it on my shoe, it'll match up. I'll trim it with my scissors around the edge here a little bit. Just take some of the hairs off. And there you have it. There's number 2. Tap this back into place here. Once the weight of that table gets on there, why, that won't be a problem at all. This thing will compress, and but that's makes good use of some of those leftover carpet pieces. All right, I'll do the other ones, and then next time we'll have everything put together.